Hello friends, my name is Masood. Today we shall discuss about a topic, the $100 points method. Friend, today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in project management or also you want to learn it through the Scrum methodology. So let's just start, friend. First of all, I would request to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell option as well so that my new videos can reach to you. Friend, the $100 method is a great way for prioritizing a manageable requirements pool with multiple or even many stakeholders. The approach is very simple. Each stakeholder or voter receive $100 or points. Requirements can be purchased with this limited budget. The stakeholder himself decides how much the realization of a specific requirement is worth to him. If all dollars or points are spent, the prioritization of the stakeholder is finished. All other stakeholders also go shopping with their dollars and prioritize the requirements that are important to them. Points forces a prioritization with caution. It is important that stakeholders from all involved departments participants in this prioritization process. The marketing department and IT will certainly bring different perspectives into play. For example, we had a good experience with a project in which more than 5 departments were involved. The distribution of the dollars or points were not made by a representative stakeholder. Instead, this task was assigned to the departments and teams. This triggers an internal discussion and evaluation of the individual topics within the departments in which everyone could participate. The teams themselves also use the method described above, like discussed, to complete the evaluation and reported the results. This method can also be combined well with other prioritization methods. For example, thresholds can be used to illustrate an association with different categories of the Moscow method. That is, for example, the requirements receive $500 or more in total will be considered as must. The requirements will receive between $200 to $500 in total. Should be considered as should. The requirement receives between $50 and $200 in total. It should be considered as could. The requirement receive $50 or less than in total should be considered as wouldn't. Friend, our experience is that this method is very well suited in situations where you have to work with many stakeholders and detailed discussion would take an immense amount of time due to this high number of people. It is important that the results are not fixed. There should be space for fine tuning and follow up discussions. Prioritization on a numerical scale. A widely used method for prioritizing requirements is to rank individual topics on a numerical scale. For example, from 1, like which is not important, to 10, really important. The higher the number, the more significant this requirement is within the product or project. In the best case, requirements have been recorded in tabular form and the weight can be added as a new column. This ensures filterability and sortability. Even though this type of evaluation is one of the simplest, we often observe that requirements are always very strongly ranked at the lower or upper limit of the scale. Requirements that are in the middle range are found proportionally less often for the reason like number are abstract. A classification with example important, not important is more concrete. A scale that is too large leads to uncertainty. The ratings are mostly oriented to the edges and the middle of the scale. There is hardly any rating in between. A simple way to prevent this is to shorten the numeric scale, for example 1 to 5. Our experience is that this makes evaluations easier and eliminates the insecurities. However, this method also carries the risk that requirements are generally classified as very important for the project. It is up to the project manager to judge the final prioritization. One advantage of assigning numbers is that each stakeholder can do this for themselves. For a final result, the rounded average value of each considered requirements is used. Again, think about what thresholds should be used to differentiate requirements in the context of the project. Very low rated requirements should either be excluded immediately or at least formulated as nice to have features. Transparent communication with the stakeholders is extremely important here. This avoids uncertainties and disappointments during the project. Friend, looking at the two prioritization methods like we have discussed, we highly recommend the $100 method. It has been shown that stakeholders make a more accurate judgment of the business value of a requirement with a limited number of votes. In addition, the method can be adopted and fine-tuned to your own taste. Evaluation with number is particularly effective for a manageable number of requirements and stakeholders. Here almost nothing has to be explained and the results arrive more quickly. It is important to prioritize your product backlog to make sure it doesn't become an open ended list of every random thought anyone has about your product. Okay, then, friend, basically your backlog needs to be structured, organized and prioritized to determine the most strategically important things for your team to work on. Okay, then, the 100-point method, also called as $100 method, fixed sum or fixed allocation, was proposed by Dean Leffingwell and Don Widrick in 2003. The objective is to give more weight to the higher prioritized backlog items when compared to the other available user stories. It involves giving the participants 100 points. They can vote for the items in product backlog such as epics or user stories that adds most value to the business. The votes do not need to be distributed equally. Rather, a weighted distribution can be allocated to reflect the higher priority that some items worth. On completion of the voting process, prioritization is determined by calculating the total points allocated to each user story. Now, friend, like we have already discussed that what are the how it work actually. The 100-point method lets participants distribute the 100 points to prioritize different items. The ratings are shown in percentage with the most popular choice ranked from the top. Okay, in that way you can you can rank them and you can calculate the 100 points. So, friend, thanks a lot for watching the video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and thanks a lot for watching the video. Thank you, friends.